T1. 27, 31 and 1 Chronicles 6. 71, 75 state that Rehob was given to the sons of Gershom as Elvite city. Those favoring but one side consider these texts to mean that the task of evicting the Canaanites from Rehob was hindered originally but was accomplished at a later time, thus allowing for its occupation by the Levites. Those favoring two sides suggest one town as remaining in Canaanite hands, the other as among those initially captured by Asher and given to the Levites. For the two sites, some suggest an identification with Kabut el Amri, about 4 km 2.5 mi of Akzib, for the Rehob of Joshua 19. 28. And for that of the other texts, they suggest Tel el Bur el Gabi Tel Bira, about 10 km 6 mi of Akko. This latter site is the one preferred by those who consider the name to refer to but one town. Hobom re middle. Ho middle. Bo and widen make spacious the people. Son of Solomon by his Ammonite text to acute Miritra longo. Hoboth 768 his people. But Hobom spurned this mature advice and sought the counsel of young men with whom he had grown up. They told the king he should in effect make his little finger thicker than his father's hips, increasing their yoke burden and chastising them with scourges instead of whips. 1 Chi 12. 2-15. 2 Ch 10. 3-15. 13. 6, 7. This arrogant, high-handed attitude adopted by Hobom completely alienated the majority of the people. The only tribes continuing to support the house of David were Judah and Benjamin, while the priests and Levites of both kingdoms, as well as isolated individuals of the 10 tribes, also gave support. 1 Chi 12. 16, 17. 2 Ch 10. 16, 17. 11. 13, 14. 16. Subsequently, when King Hobom and Hadoram, who was over the conscripted forced laborers, entered the territory of the secessionists, Adoram was stoned to death but the king managed to escape with his life. 1 Chi 12. 18. 2 Ch 10. 18 Hobom then mustered an army of 180,000 from among Judah and Benjamin, determined that the 10 tribes would be forcibly brought under his subjection. But Jehovah through the prophet Shemaiah forbade them to fight against their brothers, since God himself had decreed the division of the kingdom. Though open warfare on the battlefield was thus avoided, hostilities between the two factions continued all the days of Hobom. 1 Chi 12. 19-24. 15. 6. 2 Ch 10. 19. 11. 1-4. For a time Hobom walked quite closely to the laws of Jehovah, and early in his reign he built and fortified a number of cities, some of which he stocked with food supplies. 2 Ch 11. 5-12, 17 However, when his kingship was firmly established he abandoned Jehovah's worship and led Judah in the practice of detestable sex worship, perhaps because of Ammonite influence on his mother's side of the family. 1 Chi 14. 22-24. 2 Ch 12. 1 This, in turn, provoked Jehovah's anger, and in expression of it he raised up the king of Egypt, Shishak, who, together with his allies, overran the land and captured a number of cities in Judah in the 5th year of Hobom's reign. Had it not been that Hobom and his princes humbled themselves in repentance, not even Jerusalem would have escaped. As it was, the treasures of the temple and the king's house, including the gold shields that Solomon had made, were taken by Shishak as his booty. Hobom then replaced these shields with copper ones. 1 Chi 14. 25-28. 2 Ch 12. 2-12. During his lifetime Hobom married 18 wives, including Mahalath the granddaughter of David, and Maacah the granddaughter of David's son Absalom. Maacah was his favorite wife and the mother of Abijah, one of his 28 sons and the heir apparent to the throne. Other members of Hobom's family included 60 concubines and 60 daughters. 2 Ch 11. 18-22. Before his death at the age of 58, and the ascension of Abijah to the throne in 980 BCE, Hobom distributed many gifts among his other sons, presumably to prevent any revolt against Abijah after his death. 1 Chi 14. 31. 2 Ch 11. 23. 12. 16. On the whole, Hoboam's life is best summed up in this commentary. He did what was bad, for he had not firmly established his heart to search for Jehovah. 2ch 12. 14. Hoboth 3 middle. Hoboth broad places. 1. The name that Isaac gave to a well he dug. GE 26. 22. Some scholars have tentatively identified Hoboth with Rehoboth Negev, about 35 kilometers 22 miles of Beersheba. The names bear certain similarities. In naming the well, Isaac said that now God had given ample room. He and his shepherds could be fruitful without interfering with, or getting interference from, others. 2. A city of unknown location from which came Shaul, an early Edomite king. GE 36. 31, 37. 1ch 43, 48. In both references to it, the place is called Hoboth by the river.